listening to LOA Recon with the Good Vibe coach Jeanette Ma, where we dissect the ins and outs and the art and science of conscious creation, all intended to amp up your manifesting game. Let's have some fun together. You guys are so sweet, leaving me the nicest love letters on iTunes. Thank you so much for that. Here's my latest favorite. My wife turned me on to Jeanette a few months ago. Now my entire family is hooked. I approached this podcast with high doses of skepticism, which I think is a really good idea, personally. But Jeanette was entertaining enough to listen to, and there seemed to be some good practical advice that made logical sense and didn't tip off my she's crazy meter. So we started to do some out loud manifesting, almost as a joke at first. That's probably my favorite part of this. Almost as a joke at first. Why not? I took a huge pay cut moving from one job to another. It's a much better job, but the money was tight. Then, in very short order, I just got goosebumps. I got a freelance ad writing gig on the side, then a major consulting engagement, then 3 more engagements, then got word that all the stock I had was now going to pay out. I'm literally doing nothing to get this money outside of pretending that it was already there. Ooh, that's magic. This has all happened in the last 4 months. So we are off on a manifest destiny now. Mountain cabin, better schooling for one of our kids, exotic trips. I now believe all these things can happen. I would have laughed at myself a year ago. How are all these things going to happen? You need to have a step-by-step plan to make this actionable. No, I don't, I'd tell my past self. I just need to believe that it has already happened, and it will. That is it, you guys. That's so it. In fact, we should just make this review be the whole podcast. I even used my manifesting to make Jeanette give my wife a personalized birthday message. I totally did that. It was a blast. He finishes, sorry about that, but it was the best birthday present ever. Cheers and thanks. I was happy to be part of that. It was very cool. So that actually is related to the topic today of this episode, which is a question I get a lot. I know we've all wondered, at least conscious creators wonder, how much work is required to manifest what we want? Like, how much effort does it take? I've got a super easy answer. It depends. It depends on what you believe and how aligned you already are. For stuff that feels easy and no big deal, if you're feeling pretty fab most of the time, you hardly even need to do any alignment work for that stuff to happen. And we've all experienced that, where we have a nice little thought about something cool, and it happens right away. Didn't even do anything. You know what? It's worth noting that what might seem like easy and no big deal to you is someone else's big miracle. And vice versa. The stuff that's easy for you might seem hard for me. Example. Okay, I can manifest a love interest on a dime, but man, do I struggle with technology issues. Oh my gosh. And money, that's my wheelhouse, but manifesting good support for my business, you'd think I was trying to walk on water for how hard that is for me. Although I'm getting a handle on that in 2018. Once and for all, I'm going to learn that vibration. My point being, what's easy peasy for one person might not be so easy for another. But most people, when they ask the question about how much work is required to manifest what we want, they're asking about the big stuff, whatever that might mean for them. The dream job, the fabulous new lover, the reversed illness. Maybe it's a happy holiday get-together with the family. So here's what I want to say about that. If you think that it's a big deal, if you think it's hard to manifest, then it's going to take as much work as is required to get you to expect it, for it to start to feel normal and natural to you, kind of obvious. So it really only requires as much work as it takes for you to believe in it. And maybe there are some things that are easy to believe in, big things, like just on a dime. Maybe we could just change our mind right there on the spot, and it really is that easy. I've probably had that experience where someone with credibility said something that changed everything, like to put something that felt far away so within reach. Maybe you've had that experience too. So I believe that can happen, that we can believe in big things just on a dime. I'm going to have to believe in that because I believe in everything. But for most of us, most of our big deal desires, it's going to take a little more work than that. And maybe even a lot of work. There's some things, I've been working for a while. That's not to say, though, that our best bet is to go full bore and do constant affirmations and prayer rain journaling and visualizing. I'm not saying that because there is such a thing as too much effort. In fact, my ex-boyfriend, he has this saying, I think it goes like, if it feels like work, it won't work. Because efforting, it's not the same vibration as having and enjoying. So if you're working too hard for it, if you're struggling, if it's not enjoyable, you might actually be holding that success at bay. And this might not sound very helpful, like I'm not answering this question at all. But when we ask, how do we find our own personal sweet spot in knowing, okay, so how much work, because I don't want to do too little, but I also don't want to do too much. So we're really just looking for our personal sweet spot for putting our manifesting skills to work and allowing our desire to manifest. And, I've been actually asking that question of myself lately on it. It might seem like a different topic, but it's the same. So I've got a maidenhair fern that, okay, I actually have two. Here's what happened. I'll try and keep this short because we all like short episodes. So I was helping a friend shop for new plants for his place. And because I love to go to the nursery, any excuse to go to the plant nursery, I'm going. So I'm going with a friend for him to get new plants for his place. And I asked him to, pick out what he liked. Oh my gosh, he went to the maidenhair ferns. Yes, no wonder. We all like them. They're beautiful. They're so soft and they're delicate. They're just beautiful. I would want one too, but I never buy them because from what I understand, what I've been trained, they're basically impossible to grow in Utah. Like this is not a friendly climate. I assume they grow somewhere, but it isn't here. I don't know why they even sell them in our nurseries. I don't know anyone who grows these. I also don't know anyone who's tried because we all know not to try. That's how hard they are. But he really liked it. And I'm going to say this too. I had tested him out with a really easy plant. I'd given him like a baby spider plant. And he did really well with it. He was checking the soil for moisture levels. He was making sure it got good light. I mean, he looked like he was going to be a good plant dad. So I told him about this maidenhair fern. I'm telling the story way too long. I told him this maidenhair requires extra attention. It's not like your spider plant. She's going to need to be spritzed every day. You're going to have to be paying good attention. She can't dry out. She can't dry out. It will be death. And he's like, okay, I'm down. And so he got this beautiful maidenhair, and I was jealous. And he was doing pretty well with it. Like seemed like he was doing pretty well. So a couple weeks later, I was at the nursery again. I was buying a present for my mom because you know me, any excuse to go to the plant nursery, I'm going. So I was shopping for something for my mom, and I came home with like 5 plants for myself as well because I love plants. And I brought home a maidenhair fern. I didn't get one as big as he had, but I thought if he could do it, the guy who doesn't do plants at all, surely I can. So I bring this amazing plant home that I believe, the things I believe about them are they're tricky to grow here. I've never succeeded with one before. I've actually never tried one before. I also know that I really don't like killing plants, so I have some resistance to them not doing well. And okay, so I end up with this cute one for me, and then my friend, after another week or two at his place, his was dying. She was not doing well. So I have that one too. So now I have 2 maidenhairs here at my house, one who was near certain death, and then the one that I bought. So the one that I got from him, I kind of thought this one's not going to live. I'm not going to put it in the garbage. I will give it a chance to live. So I did what I could. I picked a spot here in the office that I thought would be good. I thought it would be good light, and I spritz it every day, and it gets good water. But the other one, the one that I bought, that's been beautiful from day one until Elvis ate 2 of the branches, but it was beautiful from day one. It's right here on the desk with me, and it gets a lot more attention. I promise this is related to our topic. So this little one that I bought for myself, she gets a lot of attention, and not all of it, I suspect, is helping, because I'm like constantly, I'm feeling her dirt. Is she drying out? Is it too much water? Is it too little? Is this light right? Should I turn you a different way? I spritz her not just once a day, but multiple times through the day, because I'm always looking at her. She's always right here in front of me. And the other day, I realized all this doting over her that I'm doing, I'm not sure it's helping, because guess what? The sick one from my friend, it's doing fabulous. The one that I'm not paying too much attention to, it's going to live. It looks great. It's got new growth. It's practically filled in. And I'm not giving it as much love. But that's where we sometimes get a little confused, isn't it? We think we're giving love, and really, the attention we're giving our desired manifestation, sometimes it has enough of a charge on it, just enough anxiety that it doesn't actually help. So when I was asking myself, should I start neglecting this plant? Should I put it behind me so I don't see it so much, and maybe it could do as well as the one who I thought was dying is doing? Here's how I know if the attention that I'm giving it is helping or not. It's the results. I can look at the leaves. Are they nice and green and healthy? If so, that's a good sign. Is the soil moist but not wet? That's a good sign. If I see new growth, fabulous sign. If it's drying up, if it wilts, or if there's water sitting in the dish or dry soil, bad signs. If I haven't picked up the water spritz bottle today, I know that's a bad sign too. She likes moisture. So I think it's the same with our manifesting process, you guys. But the results that we measure, it's not just what's happening or not happening in our 3D world, but it's what's happening for us emotionally and vibrationally. Meaning, how do you feel? If you feel good, you're probably doing it right. If you feel frustrated or impatient or bored, you're going to want to change things up. Your feelings will tell you whether you are in your sweet spot or not. It is possible to overdo a manifestation. I've done it, because you know how I learned Pray Rain journaling? Every day, a page a day, every day till you get to the end of your book. And I practiced it that way, because the promise was, if you do it like that, by the time you get to the end of your book, you will have it, or it'll be so close you can reach out and touch it. And I didn't want to mess that up. I believed that formula. I practiced it. Shoot, remember how my thing happened on the first day? The very first entry that I made, within like an hour and a half, my miracle had happened. So I knew journaling is magic, but the way I was practicing it, as I was taught, a page a day, every day, no matter what. Look, there are some days where making that entry, it was not my highest joy. And I'm telling you, on those days where I was either frustrated, I just wanted to go to bed, but I hadn't done my journal entry yet, so I had to do it. Those things did not support my success. Those occasions, those feelings did not support my successful manifestation. Unless by the time, maybe it's like running. I hear this from runners. I don't know, because I'm not a runner, but I hear them say they don't look forward to it until they run. And then after they run, they're really glad that they did. I hear that. Maybe sometimes your journal entry could be like that, like you aren't looking forward to it, but by the time you finish it, you really do have a better vibration. If it's working that way for you, then I'd say that's working. But I would prefer to do a manifestation exercise that I enjoyed before, during, and after. I think that's a good measure for whether or not it's serving me. Sometimes our big deal manifestations happen best after we've done some nice alignment work, been real consistent with it, and then we just let it go for a while without keeping an eagle eye on it, you know? Like, I can tell when I've clicked into something, when I've got a really nice connection with it. I can feel when I've got the vibration of it, and I'm going to do it more than once. Like, it might take me a couple of times before I start to actually plug in to that feeling of what I want, till I can start to really wrap my arms around it. And then after the first time I do it, I'm going to get some more time in with it. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again. Not neurotically every day, because maybe sometimes taking a day off here or there is what's best. But after I feel like I've got some good momentum with it, it's kind of like maybe swinging on the swing. You know when you're a little kid and you're pumping your legs out and back to get some really good momentum going, and then you're getting some height, like the poles are starting to come out of the ground, so you got to stop pumping. Now you just get to ride. You just get to hold still and ride and swing. Sometimes it's like that with manifesting. I can tell when I've done good work and now I just want to let it ride. Let the universe do its thing before I pick it up again. I could just, and this is from a lot of experience with it, trial and error, when I can tell when I've got the vibration activated, it's got momentum, now let it ride. Because sometimes if I continue to give it attention, it's not a good thing. Like this poor plant that maybe, I don't know what I'm doing, whether I'm doing good things or not with it. But I know the one that it's not getting so much attention from me is doing better. And it was on death's door, not joking. So I'm just saying sometimes putting all that work into your manifestation project is just a vibrational instruction to universe that you don't have it yet. I heard a story, she gave me permission to share, where, oh my gosh, I love this story. We actually did a reverse engineering success call at GVU a couple months ago on this story, where she wanted a new car, or at least a new to her car. And for 6 months, I think she said it was, she was doing all the manifesting alignment processes. She was doing this, that, and the other. She had a whole bunch of things she was doing for it regularly. And then one day she realized, wait a minute, a person who has their new car wouldn't be doing all these alignment exercises. So she decided to stop them all on a dime right then and there. But she just did one more thing. She just named 5 reasons to believe that it could happen. That was it. And she let it go. She was done. Okay. That very day, she got a call from her mom saying her grandma's ready to get rid of the convertible and would she like to have it? I love that story. There's another way to look at this, and this might not be a super savvy analogy for me to offer because I don't actually cook, but I know from watching some cooking shows that there are some things that you can overdo. Like some things you're not supposed to stir it too much, or you're not supposed to knead it too long. Like there's something like you got to keep the air in it or something. Okay, you could tell how much I know about cooking. I don't really know much, but I know that sometimes when you work it too much, it's no bueno. Our manifestation projects are kind of like that. There's a point at which more effort not only doesn't give us more results, but it might actually backfire. The trick is to know when that point is. And I'm suggesting that we can tell where our sweet spot is based on how we feel by paying attention to our vibrational state and being willing to work our gig, whatever our alignment gig is, long enough that we can feel ourselves developing some good feelings for it, but not so much that we get tired of it or frustrated. We're looking for our personal sweet spot. And sometimes we have to be willing to experiment to find that. This is highly personal stuff, so I really don't think there's a rule of thumb I can give you. But sometimes, this is what I tell clients. I suggest that we just plug into our desired reality, however we do that, at least once a day. So whether you're, visualizing or journaling or affirming or feeling it real or whatever, just do that once a day. I like to start my day with it, so I know I'm starting my day in alignment. And then that's it. I'm not going to do anything else the rest of the day. I don't want to get neurotic about it. If I miss a day or even 2 days a week, I'm not going to think I'm undoing all my good stuff. I'm not. That's actually a pretty good pace for me. But I'm going to do it most days, just once a day. That's all. To get myself to feeling the end result of what I want. And like I said, I don't even care how I get there, just as long as I get there once a day. Until I notice at some point during the day that I'm offering a contradictory instruction. If I notice that happening, then I will use that as a catalyst, as my trigger to plug back in to my desired result again. So on some days, I could be doing this a couple dozen times a day. Like that usually happens if I've got a sick animal, that sort of stuff. It's so easy for me to worry about them. And every time I notice myself worrying, I know to drop the worry. I don't want to manifest that. So I know to drop it, plug back into what I want. Like when I was building my coaching practice, I definitely overdid that with the alignment practices, but I didn't have as much experience then as I do now. And I was feeling tremendous pressure to make it work. So I wanted to make sure I was doing everything I knew to do to allow it to happen. I didn't understand the whole overworking it process. In hindsight, 1 or 2 practices would have been fine, but I was uptight about it. So I was reading my perfect client list. I was making day and night Pray Rain journal entries. I was affirming my success. Add an affirmation. I'm a brilliant coach in high demand. And I filled my world with evidence that it was happening. I had appointments on my calendar that weren't real people. I would talk about it with people like I was a coach who had clients. I was doing a lot of stuff, way more than was probably helpful. And then whenever I noticed during the day that I was thinking a thought that was contrary to that result, something like, girl, this isn't going to work, you're going to have to get a job, that would be my cue to unplug from that version of reality and plug back into the one that I preferred. Because all those versions of reality exist. Every possible reality is there for me to choose from. The one where it's working and the one where it's not, and everything in between. So I just want to make sure I'm picking the one that I want more often than I'm picking the one that I don't want. So yes, I have a rule, just plug in once a day, and then the only other thing to do is if I notice I'm being contrary to it, turn that around. Don't let that stuff roll. So maybe that's a rule of thumb that works, but I still think it's worth paying attention to how you feel. I think that's always our best guidance. There's another thing I'll say about how much work it takes to manifest what we want. If you are dealing with a stubborn set point, that can require more work to allow what you want than if you didn't have that habit or pattern already in place. And this just goes back to what we believe. Like some beliefs are more conducive to manifesting what we want than others. Like when I believe or when I know how much money I make, like when you get a paycheck and you don't get paid overtime, it's easy to know how much money you make. You don't just believe it, you know it. It doesn't change. That's how it is. Some people can get a paycheck and still allow money in other ways, but others who know really well that this is all there is, when you know that really well and you've done it for a very long time, that could create a stubborn set point. Like it's hard to allow more money in than that because we're just so used to making that amount of money that moving it can be hard. So that type of set point, that could be beneficial if something bad happens, like if we get laid off or we have to quit our job to move across the country for some reason and you got to get a new job. That can be beneficial because we know so well how much we make that it's easy to get back to what we're used to. So in that sense, set points can be our best friends. But when we're on the other side and we're looking to increase a financial flow, knowing how much we make, when that knowing is really strong, it can keep us there, and that can be really frustrating. So it's a matter of getting used to a new level. And this is true whether we're talking about money or health or love, in any area of life. Learning a new vibration about what we want, it can take some work if we have some really stubborn set points in place. But it's okay. It's work worth doing if it really matters to you. I will say we do have a course on moving set points at Good Vibe University if you're a member. And if you're not a member, you're invited to join. In fact, we're starting a new lineup of courses next month. And there's a ton of archived courses there already that are super valuable. Plus, if you join for the year, your annual membership gets you a private session with me. And the cost of an annual membership is already less than what I charge for private sessions. So joining is kind of a no-brainer if you want support around this. But the reason I'm talking about set points is because it's worth knowing that if we know something really well, and by that I mean really strongly, sometimes it isn't a knowing that serves us, that can take more work to shift that. I mention this because those of us who are manifesting geeks, we love studying this stuff. We love playing with it. In fact, when my friend said, when my ex says, if it's work, it doesn't work, some people might be like, well, every manifesting exercise you engage is going to be work. Well, you could look at it that way. I agree. But sometimes that work is fun. Sometimes it's enjoyable. In fact, Abraham says, if your manifesting process if it doesn't make you feel better in doing it, then you're wasting your time. Because that's the whole point. It's supposed to make us feel better. That's what alignment is. It's learning how to feel better. So, okay, you know what I'm realizing? As I've been talking about this, I realized what I've been doing with those maidenhair ferns. I've been tending them with the vibration of not sure that I'm doing it right, hoping they're going to live, not wanting to kill them, wondering if I'm doing something wrong, feeling some mild anxiety that I don't know what I'm doing, despite having read every site on the internet about proper care for them. Right? I don't have vibrational alignment in place. I haven't practiced the vibe of thriving maidenhair ferns under my care. So if I can tune, I'm not going to say if, when I tune into the satisfaction and the success of me growing beautiful maidenhair ferns here, then I will get the answers or the impulses, the intuitions about what these plants want. But as long as I'm tending them with the vibration of, I hope I'm getting this right, I could do better than that. It starts with the vibration. We all know that. So that's the work I'm going to do next for myself. And then I'm getting support and technology handled. 2018, I will master both of these. And in order to do that, I'm probably going to have to tune in a handful of times. It's not like a huge stretch for me to create those things, but for all of them, they have proven to be unfamiliar vibrations, both with my maidenhair ferns and my support vibration and my technology vibration. I've got room for improvement on all fronts. You've heard some of the limiting beliefs I have that are keeping me from that easy, effortless success that I know many of you are reminding yourselves of right now, how easy that stuff is for you. This is what I said. Some things are easy for some people and hard for others, and vice versa. But we know how this works. Whatever it is that we want to create, when we plug into that vibration, and for me, plugging into what it feels like, I'll probably do it for the plants. I'll probably plug in, because they're not like a huge deal. I don't mean to say that in front of them, but I really do want them to live. For those, I'm probably just going to plug in maybe a half dozen times over the next week or two, and then let it roll. That's probably all it takes for me to become a maidenhair fern expert. But on those other ones, it's probably going to be more work than that. I will know because I will feel it. I'll be tuned in to how it's feeling. I don't know if this is helpful. I feel like I maybe have been rambling a little bit. Let me try to sum up my thoughts. First thought is, don't try too hard. Second thought, if it's a big desire that feels a little bit out of reach right now, you're probably going to need to do some work to get it within reach. But 3, that doesn't take a lot of work to put it within reach. A little bit of manifesting effort can go a long vibrational way. Another thing comes to mind. If you're the kind of person who makes everything hard work, I'm going to invite you to pick up a copy of Slacker Manifesting. It's an ebook. You'll find it at my site, goodvibeblog.com. Click on products or ebooks. I don't know what it's called. Find Slacker Manifesting. It'll help remind you that things can happen more easily than we sometimes believe. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up now. And thank you for listening. I know this was a longer one. I hope you got something very inspiring in this episode. And if you have any questions, I'd love to hear it. Email me at jma@goodvibecoach.com. And in the meantime, happy manifesting, everyone. Big love.